Hey, this is a demo of DomFlags. I'm going to show you how you can use them to create keyboard shortcuts to DOM elements. Here's an application that I'm designing that I want to add some styles to. I'm going to open the inspector, inspect this parent element, and add a DOM flag with Alt-Shift-D. I'll inspect this one, add Alt-Shift-D, and finally inspect this last one, Alt-Shift-D. So now I've added DOM flags to all three of these elements that I will be styling. You can see here that the DOM flag attribute is added to the element, and I can cycle through them in the DOM flags panel that pops up on the left. So here you can see that it's jumping through these different elements. And what I can also do is jump through these elements using the keyboard shortcuts. So I'll use the number pad. I'm going to use Alt-Shift-1, jump to the first, Alt-Shift-2, jump to the second, and Alt-Shift-3 to jump to the third. So jumping back to the first, I can go ahead and start making some styles, jump to the second one. Perhaps I want to shrink this up a little bit. And finally jump to the third, and perhaps I want to pull the padding in a bit. As you can see, that was super fast for me to navigate around the DOM. I actually didn't have to do any kind of clicking, just use the keyboard shortcuts. So DOM flags are great in this context because I've added them directly to this DevTools session, but because of that, they won't persist on page reloads. So as you see here, if I refresh this, the DOM flags disappear. If I do want them to persist across page reloads, I can add DOM flags directly to my HTML documents, and I will refresh, open the DevTools, and you'll see that the DOM flag automatically appears in the panel on the left. There are a few other helpful features in DOM flags. Those can be found in the settings panel. First one is autofocusing the first DOM flag upon opening the DevTools, and second is autofocusing on page reload. So by default, if I close this down and open it up, the DevTools will automatically inspect the body element, but with the autofocus feature enabled, what I can do is now open the DevTools and it will automatically inspect my DOM flagged element. And that's also the same for on page reload. By default, it inspects the previously selected node, but if I refresh, it's going to inspect the node that I have a DOM flag added to. These features are enabled by default and can be incredibly helpful when you want the DevTools to always re-engage a particular element. I hope that gives you a good introduction to DOM flags and how it can speed your DevTools workflow. You can download the Chrome extension at DomFlags.com.